stream. I'm so blessed to have you here. It's your favorite business bestie, Superior Shelby. If this is your first time ever seeing me, I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. If you clicked on this live stream, that means you are interested in building generational wealth and learning how to actually win a grant. I talk about grants. I have this 6-year YouTube channel dedicated to teaching you how to search and apply to grants. And I also give you some business tips too. I give you that safe space to be vulnerable and come on these daily live streams and explain to me what your challenges are. And we just work it out together, okay? Think of this like a free business coaching, but we're all in this business boat together. So I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years and I've been winning grants globally. I'm currently in Africa. And I'm so happy that you've decided to join me here live on YouTube. Now, today's YouTube live session is going to be a deep one, friend. So get out your notebooks and get ready to screenshot because, of course, I'm going to bring you some nice, slides and stuff like that. We're going to go over how to truly build generational wealth. So many of us tell ourselves, I'm starting this business simply because I want to build generational wealth. Well, what you don't know, friend, is that building generational wealth also comes with, taking down some generational curses too. So we're going to get a little biblical. We're going to talk about profits. We're also going to talk about how to go with a actual God-given plan. Okay. In addition to that, what I've been noticing is when you guys come across the grant application and there's a question on the application that asks you, what would you do with this grant money? Why should you be chosen for this grant? A lot of you all are actually saying it as an answer. I need this grant because I'm going to use it to build generational wealth. While that is your own personal, thing, right? That's your personal goal. I'm going to explain to you the reasons for why you putting that particular answer saying, I want to build generational wealth on your grant application is not going to help you win grants. Instead, I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to change your perspective and also how to still get your point across and also how to answer the question so you can win a grant. Okay. Now, before we get into it, let me explain to you the grants. Then we'll get into the 7 tips on how to build generational wealth. In addition to that, some professional tips on how to answer that grant question. Why should you be chosen for the grant? Okay. Now I'm giving you some creative writing skills. So I'm hoping you're going to take notes. Winning grants is actually not a hard thing. I've won millions of USD dollars in grants, and I've been running my grant writing company for 10 years. I'm a 71% successful grant writer, which means out of 1,000 clients I get in a year, 71% of them win at least one grant that me and my team write for them. And that can be a grant of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. It could be $50,000. I've even won up to a $750,000 grant from my client, and I actually posted that as a YouTube short. Grants is nothing you should sleep on, hun. Now, while grants do have their dark side, or let's say cons, the cons are not even close to what you would experience when you're going for traditional lending, like loans, lines of credit, and credit cards. Grants do not check your credit. Grants don't need your personal information like your ID and social. And grants also don't need any type of business bank statements or none of that. They simply want to know, what would you do with this grant funding that you're requesting and how will it drive impact to your community? Yes, your community is your clients. Your community is the people who buy your services and products. Your community could also be the people that's in your local state and city, okay? So don't think too hard about it, friend. That's why I am here dedicating my time every day to make sure you are reassured that you are deserving and you are worthy of free money to start your business and to scale the business that you currently have. So many of you guys have had a business since 2020, but you haven't been able to successfully get funding. It's okay. That's why I talk about grants. And honestly, grants is the best business funding to ever get. Why go for a loan that you have to pay back with interest? And most likely, you probably won't even get the loan because there's no diverse equity inclusion in the United States. And they're requesting so much information from you that it creates such a big hassle and it's guesswork just for you to go ahead and apply for the opportunity. So instead, go for grants. When you go for grant funding, you're not wasting your time. Even though you feel like, oh, well, there's no 100% guarantee that I can win the grant, honey. Well, with you applying to the grant, I want to reassure you that even if you apply, there's still a back end incentive for you. Okay. There are some grants that they will give you networking opportunities. They'll give you like a public directory so you can have a space where you can showcase and market your business. They'll even give you some marketing ad credits, like ad credits through Google Ads, and also some other credits to other business resource tools that you can get that you would have never even gotten if you did not apply to this grant. When you come across that grant question, what would you do with this grant money? Why should you be chosen for the grant? I'm going to explain to you why writing your answer that says I will create generational wealth is too vague. There's no detail, and it's also not mission driven. Yesterday, we talked about how to identify your business mission. Your business mission is the ultimate results that you are giving to your client. It's explaining who you're serving or what you're providing, right? And how you're doing it. That's the ultimate mission. So you can check out the live stream from yesterday, friend, because it's a 1 hour live stream full of knowledge, full of free game. And I hope that you take that knowledge and apply it to your business mission and getting some business funding. Okay. So yesterday we talked about business mission. Today, we're going to kind of pick up from there. But instead of saying that your mission is to create generational wealth, I'm going to help you change your perspective. Okay. Now, grants, free money, no paybacks, no credit checks, no personal information needed. Okay. In addition to that, especially us as Black Americans, we're always saying we want to create generational wealth. I'm going to reassure you the 7 tips and 7 steps on how to do that. I am currently in the process of developing generational wealth for me and my family, from buying land and agriculture, buying livestock, doing things like that, international real estate, not this company that I have that you guys see me working on a day-to-day basis. That's not just the only project and the only business that I'm working on. Creating generational wealth also comes with a lot of prayer. It ain't just profits, friend. So we're going to get a little biblical, okay? All right, so let's get into it. Of course, I got some slides for you. All right, so don't worry. We're going to go over our slides. So get ready to screenshot. Also get your notebooks out, okay? Because we're going to get right into it. Okay, y'all ready? Okay, make sure you like the live stream as you're coming in so that way the YouTube algorithm can share this live stream with all the other entrepreneurs that truly want to know how to win a grant and build generational wealth for their families. Yeah, a grant can help you do that, friend. Okay. All right. Before we get started, I want to say good morning to all my people that's joining me live. Hey, Lake City Fresh. Hey, Dennis. Hey, Puma Coaten. Hey, Just Me. Hey, Deja. Hey, Dennis. I think I already said hey. Hey, everybody that's joining me. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you with me. All right. And, you keep me going. You keep me going. I keep you going. So let's do it. All right. So let me go ahead and get ready to share my slides. All right. So we are going to go over 7 biblical and business tips for creating generational wealth. That's what we are talking about today. In addition to that, I'm giving you 7 professional tips on how to answer that grant question. What would you do with the grant with the grant opportunity? Okay, so number one, it says start with a God-given vision, not just a goal. This is very interesting. Okay, very important. So many of y'all are just starting with a goal. All right. Your goal is, oh, I want to make this money, or I want to make sure I create this money or have enough money for my family to be able to live off of. You actually got to start with more of a God-given vision. All right. Breaking generational curses and developing generational wealth is actually some foundational work. Okay. So Proverbs 29, verse 18, and you can read more on, but it says somewhere in there, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. You have to have vision, friend. Generational wealth is not simply stacking money for your kids. It's passing down values, vision, and a God-led mission that sustains you and your family and community for decades, okay? It's not just money. It's passing down values, a vision, and a God-led mission, okay, that is going to sustain your family. This is why when you guys say, I want to create generational wealth, I'm telling you, wealth does not just mean profits. You could be wealthy in knowledge. You can be wealthy in other assets. You could be wealthy in connections. You understand? So this is not just, you have to be very, very purpose driven when you say that. All right. So for those of you who are putting on your grant applications, I want to use this grant money to build generational wealth. Here's a professional tip for you when you are answering that grant question, okay? Grantors want to see how your business meets a real need, not just how it benefits your family financially. Generational wealth is a personal gain, but grants are for public impact. All right. I remember telling y'all at one point in time, I explained to you, I said grants are actually community driven, public impact. Public impact is also talking about who you are serving. Yesterday, we talked about when we were discussing identifying your mission, we also discussed that how you need to identify your client type, right? I hope you guys did that exercise where you just developed 3 different client avatars and we just kept moving forward from there, right? What is going to be that public impact for your clients? That's what the grant question is asking. When they're asking why you should be deserving of the money, you should actually start your grant answer with saying, with explaining how your business, right? How your business mission, how you're going to fulfill the business mission, how your business is going to create public impact or community impact. You understand? That's what they're asking for. So many of you all are thinking of it from a personal perspective. And when you answer, I want to create generational wealth on a grant application, this is why you're not winning the grant, because it looks very selfish. Okay. It kind of looks like you're not mission driven for your business. You just simply want this grant funding for money. You understand? And that is a big no. Disconnected. Huh? I'm trying to see if disconnected. I'm on live, but I don't know if it's connecting. Let me. Yeah, it's on live. I've been live for like the last 15 minutes, but I'm trying to refresh everything. I think maybe the rain. I don't know. The internet's not really doing well. So what did you do? I went to go for fun price for something. For that's what's it called? What's it called? I think it's internet. Yeah. It's internet. That's just. Sorry. Okay. I don't know if we're back. I'm really sorry, you guys. So you had to refresh. Oh, you guys let me know in the comments if we are back. I'm waiting on my YouTube studio to come back. I'm sorry, it's actually raining. So it could be like messing up the internet. Just let me know. We're back? Okay, cool. All right, well, it'll come up soon, the creative studio, hopefully. All right, so thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm so sorry about that. It is raining here. It's the rainy season or wet season here in Nigeria, so I'm so sorry. All right, the internet might be in and out, but we're gonna get through this lesson. All right, I'm determined. The devil is busy. All right, so let's get into it. Where was I? All right, so start with a God-given vision, not just a goal. A lot of you guys are starting with a goal. Like I said, you are in the mindset of I want to make $1 million, so that way that can create generational wealth. But really, $1 million nowadays, and especially in 2025 and beyond, $1 million is actually not enough to retire. Yeah. So we have to start, getting real biblical about these things. Next. Okay, to continue, we need to confirm it's really, are you really kidding me right now? All right, so I don't understand. Let's just go to it. Okay, all right, so let's go to number two. It's still live and we're good to go here, then we should be good to go everywhere. Okay. All right, so let's go. Number two, build on a foundation of integrity. All right, this is very important. Integrity, integrity, integrity. This is very important, okay? Um, the biblical, what it says in the Bible, Proverbs 13, verse 11, it says, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. All right. That means you don't have to be in a rush. This chase the bag era is actually not what we're supposed to be doing. Wealth building actually takes time. You cannot rush yourself to success. You cannot rush yourself to $1 million. You cannot rush yourself to $10 million. You understand? No matter how much internet we have, it's actually best that wealth slow and steady. All right. They say slow and steady wins the race. And in this case, that is exactly what it is. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years and I have made some really good money by the grace of God. But honestly speaking, to get to that point of making $1 million annually, that's not where I am. But I'm okay with that because slow and steady wins the race. When it is that time, I will know exactly how to make sure I'm able to operate with that type of money. You understand? This is why it's slow and steady wins the race. In addition to that, it allows you to learn as you go, right? It's not easy. So, true wealth starts with honesty, stewardship, and ethical practices. This is the kind of legacy your children can build on without shame, right? If you are building a legacy off of fraud money, all right, you done took some money from PPP, or you want to put yourself in so much debt and get all these business loans and think that you are creating generational wealth by getting $100,000 business loan. Well, you're actually thinking in the wrong direction. All right, you're thinking in the wrong direction. Wealth really starts with stewardship. Stewardship. Let's actually Google what stewardship is so you guys can have reassurance. What is steward? Let's see what it is. What is stewardship? Stewardship is the job of or taking care of something such as an organization or property. Stewardship, teaching your children how to have stewardship, how to manage, how to supervise. All right? Stewardship. Stewardship, what else did I say in there? Honesty, of course, and ethical practices. Ethical practices. Okay? That is the kind of legacy you want your children to build on without shame. Okay. Now, here's a grant tip for you guys. If your application focuses only on your family's gain, it can be self-serving. Like I said before, very selfish. Instead, frame your answer in terms of integrity based impact. Okay. Who you're serving, how they benefit, and why it matters. Frame your answer when you are asked, why should you be chosen for the grant opportunity? Frame your answers in terms of integrity-based impact, who you're serving, how they benefit, and why it matters. You must screenshot this. When you come across the question, how would you use this grant money? You want to give them metrics, right? You want to give them details. You want to explain to them how this $50,000 will go a long way. When they ask you why you should be chosen for the grant, you need integrity-based impact answer. You need to explain who you're serving, how they benefit, and why this matters. Okay, and exactly why, how this will go a long way. This is very important. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's go to number 3. Number 3 is create impact before income. Please do this. Y'all, you guys are chasing the bag. You also focus on making money, getting money, and making money. But you must create impact before income. All right. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. You guys can read this yourself, but it says somewhere, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. You know this. Okay. The most lasting wealth comes when you focus on solving problems, serving people, and fulfilling your God given assignment before you chase profits. When you focus on solving problems and serving your customers, serving them the best as you can possible, and fulfilling God's will, I promise you everything will fall into place. Profits will come. More clients will come. More business will come. More networking will come. All of the things that you need, all the resources and tools that you need in your business, they will come. But you have to be really purposeful and create impact before you decide that you for income. This is why I said it takes more prayer than profits. All right. So a pro grant tip. Grantors want to see how your mission solves a problem in your community. Impact driven businesses are more attractive than income driven ones. While you must explain sometimes how you are getting the money, right? They're not so much focused on, is this a income driven type of business, right? Can this business make income? Reason why I say that is simply because we are talking about grants. grants, grants. The definition of grant is a free reward, usually in the form of money, that you can get from a business entity, from a private sector, or from a state and local government. Yes, that's exactly what it says. So it's free money that you don't have to pay back. They understand that the business that you're starting is going to make profits. They believe that by the answers that you provide. But keeping in mind that grants are public driven, public impact driven. Okay, so while you are still having in your mind, I'm going to use this grant to help me build my company so I can create generational wealth. You want to answer the grant question, answer the grant question, answer the grant question with impact driven results. Who are you serving? How you're going to serve them. Okay. Focusing on the mission. Remember the conversation yesterday, we were talking about how to actually identify your business mission. We talked about it, how to identify your business mission. You want to go and check out that live stream from yesterday because it's some really great gems. Once you have identified your business mission, right? This answer, why you deserve the grant money, is going to be so easy for you to answer because your answer must be impact and mission driven. Okay. I can't stress it enough. All right. So let's go on to number 4. We're getting through this. We're getting through this. All right. We are getting through this. All right. Number 4 says, multiply skills, not just money. This is very important. All right, you guys can take the biblical context, but in the Bible, in Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30, they talk about the parable of the talents. This is a really great story. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know about it, but just to give you like a quick rundown. All right, there was pretty much this master that gave 3 of his, let's say, workers um, you know, something to multiply, right? And he gave one of his workers 2, let's say 2 coins, all right, or $2. I'm just giving you an example. I'm giving you an example, all right, of what the parable of the talents was. I'm just giving you an example. There was let's say, a master, right? A CEO, all right? I'm giving you an example. The CEO chose 3 of his employees. 3 of his employees, he gave them each some money, right? One of his employees, he gave them $200. Another employee, he gave them $400. Another employee, he gave them $800, or let's say $1,000, right? Cool. Actually, $200, $500, $1,000. We'll do it like that. All right. The one who was given $200. The one who was given $200, I'll start from 10. The one who was given $10,000, he was able to double that, right? He went and did something and he was able to double that, making profits, making $20,000, all right? The one who was given $500, he was able to put it in a place where he was able to make, like, not double, but some money off of it, some profits off of it. The one who was given $200 was so fearful, right, that they actually saved that $200. So when the CEO came back, he could say, look, I still saved your money. You want to go check out go read the Bible for yourself. I'm just giving you a real world example of it. But it's called the parable of the talents, all right? This is a very interesting story in the Bible because it gives you a clear perspective of how you may be thinking of you like trying to save or you being fear-minded when actually you just need to have faith, all right, and keep pushing. And also multiply skills, not money. Let's get into it. God expects you to multiply what he's entrusted to you, not just in dollars, but abilities, opportunities, and leadership. If God has trusted you with $100,000 opportunity, if God even gave you your couple of clients that help you reach $1,000, right? If God you get $1,000 in your business, it ain't all about profits. With that $1,000, what did you learn? How were you able to develop? What skills and abilities and opportunities were you able to develop? How did you develop in leadership? What did you do with the $1,000? Were you able to develop an organization with knowing how to put your money to work? Were you able to learn how to multiply? Were you able to learn about like your services and product and how to actually develop your services and products based off of the results that you have gotten or the client responses that you have gotten from your products and services? Were you able to multiply in opportunities? Did you reach out to do any collaborations with people who have the same mission as you? This is very important. All right, so for grants, when you are applying to grants, at the bottom here it says, show how your business will multiply resources for others through training, job creation, mentorship, or partnerships, not just for your personal household. Show how your business will multiply resources for others. Remember, grants are public impact driven. So you could do this through training. You might be offering some trade training. If you are an electrician, a plumber, if you are into trucking and transportation, any type of business that it has something to do with a trade, you can offer training. You can offer CDL training. You can offer and you can also help them, give them the certificate. You know what I mean? You can go through the necessary proper channels on what it takes for you to be able to give them a certification. You can do job creation, right? So creating jobs in your community with your business, mentorship, offering mentorship to people who also want to be in the same industry as you, who want to reach the heights that you are reaching. Or partnerships. You can partner up with other businesses, and partnerships are really, really good in the and when we're talking from a community aspect, simply because let's say that you are the person that is a CPA and you do taxes, a marital accountant, right? You can possibly be that designated CPA, right, that does the taxes for that marriage couple or does the taxes for after their divorce or whatever have you, right? So you partnering up with them in your community actually brings you more clients and also builds more trust in your particular in your community. Cool. We're getting through this. All right, so what number we on? 5. Number 5, let's get to it. Number 5 says build assets that outlive you. Literally, number 5 is the pinnacle of generational wealth. Is literally wealth that outlives you. Not what is tangible and what you can do in the physical sense. It's what outlives you. Proverbs 13 verse 22 says, a good man leaves on inheritance to his children's children. That inheritance is more than just cash. It's business, land, intellectual property, systems, and relationships that can be handed down. Coming from a person that lives here in, let me give you my perspective, all right? Living here in Nigeria, I have never been in a country where they are very community, let's say relationship driven. They are very serious about developing good relationships and keeping those relationships, because you never know when you might need each other on your way up. So you might make a friend that is the daughter or the son of a governor here in Africa. You want to build that relationship and keep that relationship, because you never know when that relationship will bring you network and will bring you more opportunities. Relationship building, you can pass that down, because guess what? When you have done right by that partnership or by that collaboration or by that relationship you have built with that individual, then you are able to pass that down to your children's children. Your children will be known for, okay, you are the daughter of Shelby, Superior Shelby, the lady that has that YouTube channel, and she's taught thousands of people, if not millions of people, how to write grants. Okay, yes, you know what? She did some work with my father. She did collaborations with my mother, and they did really good business, and they were able to continue to do business. So, yes, as the descendant of Superior Shelby, I would love to do business with you, because your family is a reputable family and trustworthy. Relationships. Mhm. Relationships. Having good relationships does that for you. And you cannot be afraid to build relationships with people. All right. You have to have discernment. You have to keep it professional. You got to keep it professional. Systems. Knowing how to put systems together. We talked about standard of operations one day on a live stream. We did a live stream about that. And we were basically talking about like how, like system building, right? How your day-to-day operations would be. You want to pass that down to your child, right? You want to pass that down to your lineage, because that is going to help them develop that skill or already know that skill by the time they hit like 18, 19 years old. They're going to already know how to properly manage the business that you've already created for them, or manage their own business. You understand? That's building generational wealth. All right, cool. And intellectual property, of course, teaching them what you have learned in business and giving them, businesses and land and all of this other property and real estate that you guys might get into on your development journey. All right, cool. So let's go over the pro tip for this. So the professional tip when we're talking about for grants is at the bottom here, highlighted. It says, when answering why should your business be chosen, focus on sustainable systems your business will put in place that will keep impacting lives even when you are gone. This is a game changer. I recently won $100,000 for my clients with my client through the Generator Accelerator program. I posted about it on YouTube simply because when they asked, why should your business be chosen, we answered how the systems, how they operate, how her business operates, will be able to keep impacting lives even when she is gone, even when she has withdrawn and retired from the business. This is a big game changer. This answer, having an answer that is focused like that, is going to make you so different from other applicants. Answering your question, focus on sustainable systems your business will put in place that will keep impacting lives even when you're gone. Having that inside of your answer, in addition to who you're serving. You start the answer off by saying who you are serving, your mission, who you're serving, what you're doing, how you're doing, what you're like, who you're serving, sorry, what you are serving, and what you're providing, and how you're doing it. In addition to that, with the how, right? In the how, you will explain how you have put in sustainable systems, how you have a order of operations that is so streamlined, robust and streamlined, that you will still be able to continue to drive impact for your clients even when you retire. If you understand the way that I just given you the entire blueprint on how to answer that question, you will win grants. You will win grants. If you understood exactly what I just said, I'll say it again. When they ask you, why should your business be chosen? You're going to, at the beginning of that answer, you're going to explain who your client, who is your customers? What is your product and service? How are you serving them? In the how parts, you're going to say, we are serving them by providing. We are serving them in a way that we have a streamlined system, a sustainable system that will drive impact even when we have retired from the business itself. We will still be able to drive impact. Winning grants is not hard. It's what I'm teaching you is skill development. What I'm teaching you is what you must pass down to your children and your children's children, because creative writing skills is not up to ChatGPT. Creative writing skills will be a skill that is so, by the time 2030 comes, if you come across a person that naturally has creative writing skills, it is going to be something that is going to be so different, because by 2030, everybody's going to be using ChatGPT. But when you and your children have creative writing skills and know how to answer these questions on these particular applications that does not allow you to use ChatGPT, this is what's going to help you win. You are going to be winning opportunities left and right. Why? Because you're going to have great creative writing skills that's going to also help you with pitching. That's going to also help you close deals. That's going to also help you develop partnerships. That's going to also help you when you are networking. People are going to ask you, how did you do that? Well, creative writing skills. I just know how to think in a way that is publicly impact driven. I am a mission driven entrepreneur. While I'm out here doing this work to create generational wealth, I am aggressive in making sure that I am purposely mission driven when I'm going for business opportunities. Yes. I'm telling you, creative writing skills is going to be a skill that is it's already taught in schools, but it's going to be like a college thing. You're going to have to pay for it. Trust me, because people are going to get they're not going to be so smart. They're not going to get smarter because we have all this AI. So with you having that natural talent, right? With you having the talent of creative writing skills, it's going to set you different. It's going to set you apart, and it's going to allow you to be able to think properly and think proactively and be more effective, efficient, and productive. Okay. All right. So number 6, we're moving on. All right. Number 6. Number 6 says, we're almost done, you guys. We got one more to go. Teach stewardship to the next generation. Remember, we went over the actual definition of stewardship. Stewardship, the definition of it is the job of supervising or taking care of something, such as an organization or property. All right? That's what it is. All right? It's the careful and responsible management of something that is entrusted at one's care. When you are talking about building generational wealth, most likely you are looking to pass down this business, and or if your child or your grandchildren don't want to do this trucking company, or they don't want to get into real estate, or they don't want to be into cosmetology, or they don't want to do what you are doing, that is a-okay. You must teach them stewardship. So when you have made the necessary money to be able to give to them, so you can build them a business, you have to teach them stewardship so they know how to operate and how to be responsible for their own business. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 through 7 says, these commandments, and you can read it, You shall teach them diligently to your children. All right. So you can read Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 through 7. So you can get the full script, full verse. But generational wealth dies quickly without teaching the next generation how to manage it. This is why you see so many people that have like these restaurants, right? These home mom and pop restaurants. And after mom and pop have gotten 60 years old, 70 years old, and they are looking to retire, the children don't understand the importance of actually having, carrying on this restaurant so that way that generational wealth can continue to flow on and they can actually have the money to be able to do the businesses that they want to do to pass down to their children. Stewardship is what was missing in that conversation and in that in parenting. All right, stewardship was what was missing. It's very important that you do that. All right, so the professional tip for grants. When we are talking about answering that grant question, why you should be chosen for grants or what you would do with a grant, all of that good stuff. Grantors love to see education and empowerment baked into your business model. Training programs, community workshops, or internships show your mission goes beyond you. In the last slide, of course, we talked about the importance of explaining how you're going to be able to keep impacting the lives even when you're gone. This carries on into that community impact, okay? So you can offer those training programs, like I stated before, community workshops or internships to show that your mission goes beyond you. You'll be able to keep pushing, okay? Let me explain something to you, all right? I wanna take the time out to say this. There is a community of people, ethnic group, the Indians, right? What I liked about the Indians, right? Not the Native Americans, but the Indians that come to America. They are very mission purposeful and purpose driven. And they teaching stewardship. This is the best example I can give you. The Indians came and like, let's say I think it was 1970s, they came and they bought a motel, not even a hotel, a motel, like Motel 6, like Budget Inn. You understand? And they kept this motel and they hired their staff was literally their families. Okay. So the wife was a cleaner, the aunt was a cleaner, the grandma was probably the receptionist. You understand? The uncle was like the maintenance man. The whole family was hired to keep low cost, so it could be a low cost type of business. As they are having children, their children are taught stewardship as they grow up, and they are taught how to do multiple jobs in the motel. So by the time they turn 19, 20, 21 years old, by the time they hit 21 years old, which gave the family 20 years to save money. Everybody who's also working is saving money for these children. So when these children hit 20, 21 years old, guess what happens? Now they are buying the motel, another motel, low cost motel. And that 21, 22-year-old is now put in position as the CEO, as the head person of this motel. Now this one family has two motels. And because it's a motel and it's low cost and it's low cost, right? And the reason why it's low cost is because they're not hiring multiple people, right? They're hiring their family. They are able to actually give these motel prices at the most affordable, cheapest price than going to Marriott. You understand? What they do, that is called stewardship. They are multiplying in that way. Right now in 2025, the Indians not only still own those motels, those family motels that started back in 1950, they also now own big name brand hotels. They now own Four Seasons, Marriott's, all of these big time hotels because they started somewhere, bought a motel, and they dominated this industry. How did they dominate the industry? Because they taught stewardship. They taught stewardship when they into their children. I don't care what you want to do. You can want to be a doctor, but you also gonna run this hotel. because it's hotel, it's also going to pay for your medical doctoring degree fees. So you don't have to come out in debt once you get your MD. Yes, yes. The Indian at the ethnic group, the Indian culture in America, that is the best group to look at when we're talking about building generational wealth and teaching stewardship. Okay. All right. So number 7. And then we're going to wrap this up. So number seven says, cover it all in prayer and purpose. Psalms 127 verse 1 says, unless the Lord builds the house, those who built it labor in vain. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Allow the Lord to help you. You understand me? Prayer aligns your plans with God's will, ensuring that your work produces lasting fruits, the fruits of your labor, friend. You got to put in prayer. You got to be purpose driven. That's what it's all about, friend. Building generational wealth is way more than just making profits. It takes prayer for real. Here's a pro tip for grants. Avoid vague answers like, I want to create generational wealth. I told y'all yesterday, don't say that. That's why we're having this conversation today. Instead, describe specific outcomes. So an example could be, our business provides job skills to 50 at-risk youth annually. Or you can say, we will serve 500 families with affordable food services by year 3. Purpose-driven, mission-driven. That is how you win a grant, friend. That is how you win a grant. In my 10 years of entrepreneurship, I never knew. Within these last 3 years, I am just learning these things, okay? So 10 years of entrepreneurship, I was chasing the bag for a good 7 of them, all right? Just chasing the bag, chasing the profits, making profits. But I didn't have prayer in it. I didn't have God in it. You understand? And that is also why I went through so much traumatic experiences with trying to save money, trying to reinvest money, and then putting money into ads, and it didn't work out, and then hiring people that was stealing from me, and all of these other things. Prayer and purpose. When you pray about your business, you put God first in it, God is going to give you the discerning spirit on exactly which decision and which pathway to take. Having a business and being an entrepreneur is more spiritual than you think. Whether you are a Christ believer like myself or not, it is very spiritual. I'll give you another example. All right. I'll give you an example, and this is facts. You guys already know this. Your discerning spirit already tells you this. If not, TikTok tell you. All right. Multi-billionaires like Oprah Winfrey and all of those big multi-billionaires, not saying Oprah directly, but billionaires like such, especially Elon Musk, okay? They do their own spiritual rituals that help them get to that point and also helps them keep their position. If you don't think they're not doing, they are so open with doing their spiritual rituals that they even do their hand signs and all kinds of stuff in the news and in the media, putting it right in your face. Now, it is the society, it is the social world in America that doesn't want you to believe that business is spiritual. They want to tell you, oh, that doesn't matter. That's not true. That's not, the spirits aren't real. Let me tell you something. Depression is not a medical thing. That's not normal, friend. That's actually a spirit. It's a cycle. The cycles that your generation has been going through. If you've ever asked yourself, why aren't the women in my family married? Or why do they get married but they get divorced? Or why aren't their marriages successful? Or why does my family keep having these same exact health issues. That is not normal, friend. That is a cycle, aka a spirit, aka a generational curse or a generational binding that you must unbind through prayer. You understand? This goes beyond just making profits when we're talking about building generational wealth. The power of life and death is in your tongue. So when you say, I want to create generational wealth, and you don't pray about it, and you don't prioritize it, and you are not purpose driven about it, you will not reach it. You just saying it. You just dreaming. You just fantasizing about it. And you are wasting people's ears. You're wasting their time. But if you internally in your soul truly want to build generational wealth, and you have been singing and you have been praying about it, now it's time for you to build that altar and keep praying and fight, because it is not about money. Money gonna come. You don't have that issue. Money is just a resource tool so you can be able to continue serving your people. Money will come. But there are other characteristics and there are other character traits that you have to deal with. There are other things going on in your own bloodline, foundational things in your own bloodline that you didn't even know of, that you have to fight and break barriers and break those chains, so that way your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren can have a true opportunity at a fulfilling life of dominion and a fruitful life. This goes beyond making profits. Business is more spiritual than you think. I didn't say religious, I said spiritual. You got people out here that will sacrifice other people, that will sacrifice animals, that will sacrifice anything for them to make money. What Diddy doing is spiritual. What P. Diddy was doing is spiritual. Bad Boys and his entire career and how he was able to keep things up. He got into that work because it took sacrifices. Instead of him getting on his knees and praying and asking God to help him and keeping God first, he went to the other side. This is not conspiracy. Proof in the pudding because people like to say it's conspiracy. Proof in the pudding how things are not a conspiracy. When the California fires, and I'm so sorry for those of you who live in California who was affected by it, but I want you to be aware of this, and I'm pretty sure you are aware of this. When the California fires happened, the day before it got really serious, there was an award show. And the lady said, does anybody in here believe in God? Nobody said that they believed in God in there. She said, of course, this is a God-forsaken land. Nobody in Hollywood believes in God. Huh. California got real serious. So serious that the fires were so serious. I'm talking about, if not millions, like thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people, if that, have like lost their homes, lost everything that they worked for. Testimony of this one guy that the fire literally went past his entire house, not even a piece of grass on his property that God blessed him with got caught on fire. Why? Because he is prayerful. That is a praying machine. Business is more spiritual than you think. You understand? Business is more spiritual than you think. You think, oh, I could just put a couple $100 behind this ad and it's gonna work. Gotta say no. Did you pray about it? Did you come to me first? This is very important for you to understand. When you say out of your tongue that speaks life and death, when you say, I want to create generational wealth, understanding what you're signing up for. But I want to reassure you that God has already given you the power, all the power to trample over all the power of the enemy. It is in the Bible. He said, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." He said that, which that really means that you in your soul, you have the God-given gift to trample over all the power of your enemy. So when you want to build generational wealth, and it comes with you breaking generational curses, reassure yourself as a believer that you, yes, you have the power to do it. There ain't no sense of you getting scary. Don't get fear not, for the Lord is with you. There's no point in you getting being fearful. Fearing who? Only God itself. Okay. All right. Cover it all in prayer and purpose. Okay. All right, cool. Y'all got it? Thank you. All right, so my closing statement. This is my closing statement for you. We're going to read it all together. And this is just like my one-on-one with you guys. Obviously, you can always book a consultation with me, a coaching. The link is in the description, and here's my information so you can screenshot it for your own personal use. Now, my closing statement is generational wealth is bigger than you, friend. It's not just about creating money for your kids. It's about creating a God-centered legacy that changes lives. When writing grants, show the compassionate mission behind your business, the one that meets real needs, because that's what inspires funders to invest in you. Okay, that's my closing statement. All right, so much that we shared here in our kumbaya, like right in our live stream. I love when we talk like this. I love when we get down into business coaching because it gives you guys a reassurance on what you deserve. You understand? And how you can actually win. You can make this happen. You can get that food truck. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you, friend. But it's very important that you pray before you just take off running. And a lot of y'all have not prayed about it. And even when you pray about it, you need to keep praying and keep praying and keep praying and ask for signs and keep praying until God gives you a sign. And then if you don't see the signs, do you ask God to clear your eyes? Ask God to clear your mind. Ask God to give you the discernment. Ask God to give you the wisdom so you can be able to identify his flags. So you can be able to identify his signs. You understand? But you have to prioritize prayer. You got to prioritize being purpose driven, mission driven, especially for your business. When you start a business, you are impacting other people's lives, not just yours. Your products and services is something that is solving a problem for other people who needs their problem solved. So it's very important that you do these 7 things. You take all of them into consideration, like building stewardship, right? And all of those things, multiplying in your skills, so that way you can be able to pass all of that down. Generational wealth is more than just profits. It's prayer and it is being purpose driven. Okay. All right. So let's talk in the chats. What do y'all have for me? What are y'all saying in the chat? So much that we have covered here. Okay. So let's see. What are y'all saying? I really do appreciate you guys for being with me. I love how you, and okay, so let me go up to the top. Hold on. I was a person with the one talent. I am happy you brought this up. I learned that I was presuming I was and I wasn't. Yeah. Awesome. Yes, totally awesome. Yes, creative writing skills. Yeah, creative writing is like cursive writing. Like when I write in cursive, my nieces and nephews are like, like, what kind of ancient text are you writing in, auntie? And I'm just like, it's cursive. You guys don't know how to write in cursive. So creative writing, developing their creative writing skills, so they know how to answer questions, and know how to speak. Right, it helps you with developing your speech. I see what you're saying. We must be set apart. Yes, I love. How are you? Ashioma Isu. How are you? Yes, they are. Yes, they are even here in Canada, which is worth emulating. Yes. So yeah, we were talking about, and when y'all were commenting that we were talking about the Indians and how they're very, family oriented, similar to how blacks were prior to segregation. And we can do that. We can do it. I appreciate you so much for following God's path for you. I thank you for always breaking it down to the bare minimum. Just me, thank you so much. Like I prayed before, I can understand, and also to give you the comprehension to understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, thank you. Building your altar for business, family, health, spiritual is well worth it. Thanks so much for being with us. Friends, if you're giving value from it, yes, please hit the like button. Thank you so much. You must seek him absolutely. And it says, I'm a barber and I depend on God to guide my hands and bring me customers and take over. Exactly. I do the same thing, Kenneth. Like when you are transitioning from the 9 to 5, that mindset of it can be very fearful because you are leaving your guaranteed secured income. But when you make your first $10,000 in under 30 days or 45 days, then you are actually motivated, right? But then you will come across those months where you might not make a dollar and you are invoice to invoice. That is where true perseverance comes. That is where we see who you really are as an entrepreneur. You understand? Are you going to stick with it, right? Or are you going to just give up? And what are you going to do in those times where you are literally living invoice to invoice? That's when prayer needs to come into place, right? That's where putting God first needs to come into place for sure. So yeah, I depend on God to convict your guys' hearts, and only bring me clients that are serious and that really want to learn and that trust me, right? To write grants for them and to develop their business plans for them and all of that stuff, right? And to coach you guys. Yeah, so I understand. All things acknowledge him. Absolutely. Thanks for clarifying the difference between spiritual and religion. Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference for sure. No need to fear. He did give you the spirit of fear. Yeah, he did not give you the spirit of fear. Absolutely. Oh, I'm definitely booking a call with you. Thank you. Miss Shelby, you are right on point. Although I was first in the room, I missed the first 4. I did not miss the last nuggets. I will go back. No problem. Creative writing classes are currently offered in college and universities. I took one when I was there. Yes, Jay Brittany. See, and college is what you have to pay for. So, yeah. When I was back in school, wow, long time ago, like in elementary school, creative writing was a thing in elementary school, and then it carried on into junior high or middle school, and even into high school. But I think that they've just taken out so many of those. They took it out and they've changed things, right? So, uh, okay, so Janelle says, has the distilled intelligence grant been extended? Even when I'm at work, I try to get in on your videos. Thank you. Or is today the deadline for the grant? So I really don't know. I would have to check that. We went over that. That it's not. No, today is not the deadline at all because I actually have a class for it today. So the 25K distilled grant, we actually have a class for it today. And we're actually applying to it all together. It's $20 and there's limited spaces. I'm pretty sure I only have a few spots left. So if you guys are interested, you can just text #25 to my number. So let me go on here really quick so I can answer your question really fast. So I'm on here. You can still submit your application right now. Application and process info. Let me see. Right, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, no, it says final application deadline is September 15th, not August 15th. All right. Acceptance is rolling basis. So they accept the applications on a rolling basis, and it's finalized by September 30th. And then yeah, so that's how it is. All right. The pitch day is October 15th. All right. What else are you saying? So Kenneth says, oh wait, before we get to Kenneth, I have another one. It says, you said out of your 10 years of seeking the bag, the last 3 were when you got it.
Is that because of your shift? Yes, it is because of my shift. Living in Miami is, especially living in the United States in general, it's so bill driven. You have so much pressure on you to make sure you pay bills, and you're literally working to pay bills. In my 7 years, right, of out of my 10 years of entrepreneurship, those 7 years I was literally making money to pay bills, making money to pay payroll, making money to do this, but I didn't have the room to scale, right? I have the room to scale now because I made the necessary sacrifice and decision to leave the US with the last little bit of money I had. I kept finding myself like within the last 3 years, 'cause I haven't lived in the US in the last 3 years. That month before I decided to leave and move to Latin America, which was the first continent I moved to, throughout that entire year, I had found that at the end of the month, I was left with $0 in my bank account, in my business account and my personal account. And I said, this is becoming too much. This is not the way that God wants. Felt it in my spirit. I said, this is not the way God wants me to build my business and also build generational wealth. Like this is not the way. This is not how it's supposed to be. And I felt like I was literally just working for my business. I didn't feel any different from working a 9 to 5. So I said something has to change. God blessed me with a person, a really good friend of mine, as he is still my friend today. And he told me about Panama, right? He introduced me to Panama. And I said, okay, I'll take a trip. Let's see. I literally went on, and I was also in a lot of stress too. I was also living in a very abusive relationship too. So I was under a lot of stress and like depression. So I was going through a lot, friend. And I just really needed to get away. I need to get away from just working to pay bills and also get away from my my troubles and all this worrisome I was going through and just so much pain that I was going through from my relationship, my ex, right, relationship. So a lot was going on at that time. And so I said, you know what, I just need to get away for 30 days. I went to Panama. That plane ticket was not even like, at the time it was like $100, right? $100 one way and $100 one way back, right, to Miami. So I found I took the last like 700 and some, like $780 or so, and I bought my plane ticket, and I found a Airbnb that I paid for the entire 30 days with $780. This was my last $780. And I made the sacrifice. Yes, I was afraid, but I was so broken and I was so tired and I was so such in a bad space, such in a sad place that I literally needed to get away. I needed to get out of America. I needed to just get away. I went to Panama and I stayed there for 30 days. In my 30 days of being there, I went into prayer. I was hard. I still got on live every day. I showed y'all Panama. I did so much, right? In that. And some of you guys have actually been with me in this on this entire journey since I left Miami. I cried on some of those live streams. Yeah, I cried. I shared my testimony of being in a abusive relationship, and so much I shared during that time. And there's those videos, those live streams are still up to this day. When I made the official show, after 30 days, I went back to Miami because in those 30 days, I had a mind shift. My mindset shifted. One thing I can say, I'm very grateful to God that I have wisdom. God has blessed me with a wisdom that is literally uncommon. And I can learn things at an accelerated rate, which means I will learn a lesson quicker than most people. And I have the willpower and to be disciplined to not do that again. You understand? And not go through that path again. A lot of people, it takes them to go through the same cycle or the same cycle and the same cycle in order for them to get it, or they might not never come out of it. But I'm so blessed to say that that God has blessed me. But I pray for that wisdom. I pray for that discernment. I pray for that willpower. I pray for that discipline. You understand? So in those 30 days, God was blessing me with the wisdom and the discernment and all of the things that I prayed for. When I went back to Miami, to my Miami apartment, my condo that has so much, like so much traumatic energy in there from all that crying I was doing in the fights and the battles that I went through in there. I packed all of my stuff. That same friend helped me pack all of my stuff. I put everything in storage in Miami and I left. Broke my lease. Yep. I broke my lease and I left. I was paying $3,000 a month for my condo in Miami and I left. The sacrifice I made to put God first and to go away with God, that is where the mind starts shifting. Within the 3 years, I keep developing and keep developing and keep developing. I still had bitterness, some bitterness in me. I was still snappy. I still had pride issues. I still had ego issues coming from Miami, where I come from. And God had to deal with me and I had to develop. There are characteristics and things and spirits that I was carrying on. People call it baggage. But those are spiritual things that I was holding, that I was carrying on from the past relationships that I had. No, I'm not totally out of it. I have to keep praying and keep fighting, keep praying, keep fighting, keep praying, keep fighting. It's a war for real. It's spiritual warfare every day. So don't even think about getting tired. No purpose of you getting tired. You ask God to carry you in those times that your flesh gets weak. Yes. So the shift happened, just me, and within these last 3 years. And I'm so grateful to God that I had the courage, that I had so much faith, faith greater than a mustard seed, that I took the leap of faith and I pushed forward. And that's why I get on here every day to tell you that you can do it. You can do it. While I don't have children yet, and I know some of you have children, some of you all are married. A lot of people are truly leaving the United States for peace of mind. And so they can start breaking generational curses for real. There's a reason why so many people are leaving the US. Not saying that you need to leave the US, but I'm saying that there are certain environments that you can actually leave and sacrifice not being around so you can personally develop. Kenneth says, I resonate with your spirit. I'm in and must be God because I've been looking into grants the last couple of days. Awesome, Kenneth. I'm here for you. I stated in my vision statement that I wanted to break the chain of generational poverty in our community. Is that bad also? Yes, because that's the same thing like saying Puma Co 10. Thank you so much for saying that. Yes, that's like this. That's the same thing with saying that you want to create generational wealth. That's a vague statement. You want to be very well, this is your vision statement. So it's your vision, right? Your vision is break the chain of generational poverty in your community. Instead, you can say, you can change it around. You can say, we are breaking the chain of generational poverty in our community by doing X, Y, and Z, right? A vision statement can also be like, we break chains, we help, we can help. You can say something like, hold on, let me think, let me cook. We are impactful by providing financial literacy to help forward wealth development. That's a more professional way to say that. Yes. They took a lot of foundational elements from the school systems. My grandson didn't even know about cursive writing while he was in the summer program. I printed out sheets for him to learn. Yeah, that's what I'm doing with my nieces and nephews, because I'm like, man, you people, y'all need to learn how to write in cursive. Okay, signatures is in cursive, not with a color pencil in print. Okay, print and cursive is different. Okay, Janelli says, okay, thank you so much. I don't know why I thought the deadline was today. LOL, so much pressure off now. Of course. I'm glad you healed. God did it. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so such a really great conversation that we had today. I feel like it was one that was needed. I don't know. What should we talk about tomorrow? Tomorrow is Saturday. Oh, tomorrow's Small Business Saturday. What am I talking about? So on Small Business Saturdays, that's when I want you to bring your website links, promote yourself in the comments, in the chat. Like, I want to know about your business. I want to visit your website, go on your social media channels. Small Business Saturday is literally a day where I take out to thank you guys. And I want to shout your businesses out on my platform. And I want us all to connect. Okay. So make sure you join tomorrow, Small Business Saturday. All right. Of course, we're going to have a small business startup development conversation. You understand? We'll just have a nice conversation tomorrow. So it'll be the same time tomorrow. I see some of you guys are texting me, so I'm actually going to start texting you back. Is there any last minute questions or remarks that y'all might have for me before I let you go? Go ahead and drop it in the chat for me. And don't forget that today, this evening, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, for those of you who signed up, I am going to help you apply to the $25,000 distilled grant application. This is for all businesses across the world. Okay? It's an international grant. They are choosing 100 businesses. The deadline date for this one is September 15th. I am doing a class. It's $20. So if you are interested, okay, then all you have to do is text hashtag 25 to my phone number that is pinned at the bottom of the chat, 855-731-1487. Okay? All right. Yes. Okay, I'm texting some of y'all now. Is it for startups as well? Yes, it's for startups. It's for startups. That's like the purpose of the grant, actually. So yeah, it's for startups. Really cool. Okay, so I'm sending this. Okay, so our friend here just text, and let me go ahead and send this link to you. All right, so I'm texting you guys back right now. All right, so join me in class this evening, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll see it once you visit the Calendly link. Make sure you choose today. All right, and make sure that you put in there, just go ahead and put in your information, sign yourself up. Once you have done that, you will receive a confirmation email. The confirmation email will have the Zoom link, and I'll see you in class. We're actually going to apply to the $25,000 distilled startup grant altogether. They're choosing 100 businesses, so you can possibly be one of the 100 that gets $25,000 to start your business. Okay, so that's a $20 class, so worth it. I'm helping you guys get through the application. Okay, all right, so thank you so much, you guys, for actually joining. This is a really, really good conversation. I'm going to let you guys go for the day. I love you guys so much. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And tomorrow is Small Business Saturday. So make sure you are ready to promote your business. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about how I can help you
Whatever it is that you need, friend, bring your questions to the chat tomorrow, okay? Same time tomorrow, friend. Same time tomorrow, all right? Peace and blessings, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.